Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth and I run the blog lifefromtheviolasection.com, where I share my favorite practice tips, general advice, and tech for musicians. Today I'm sharing 5 of my favorite apps to use as a musician in my career as a music teacher and a performer. If you watch many of my videos, you have probably already seen almost all of these apps on the channel already, but I thought I would give a nice overview of what I think are pretty essential apps if you're using technology as a musician. Most of these apps are available for both iOS and Android, but I am an iOS user. I have an iPhone, iPad, Mac. That is the ecosystem that I am working with, but I will let you know for each app what platforms it is actually available on. Let's start with my favorite app for musicians, which is Forscore, and that is on my iPad, but it is available for all Apple devices as well. So I have plenty of Forscore tutorials on my channel. I also do Forscore Friday, which is a short video series that I do on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, where I share very quick Forscore tutorials to help you get to know this app better week by week. But if you don't already know, Forscore is an app where you can keep all of your sheet music and read it digitally. So I'm in Forscore right now on my iPad, and you can see this sheet music that I have open is just like paper sheet music. You can see I have a 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and here it is compared to my face. It is almost like a piece of paper sheet music. I feel that this is the app that just does it best if you're trying to read your sheet music digitally and play off of it in that way. So it feels the most similar to paper, and it integrates beautifully with the Apple Pencil. I can easily write whatever I need on it, and it feels almost like reading traditional paper sheet music. So in Forscore, you can view all of your sheet music that you've imported, and you can very easily just open different files. There are also many different annotation options, which is writing with your Apple Pencil or any stylus that you pair with your iPad or iOS device. You can also use stamps to create professional looking annotations, and there is just so much that you can do with it. I don't want to go too in depth in this video because we could go over this app for like an hour and not even cover everything. But if you're interested in learning more, I do have a full video of Forscore for beginners, just the basic things that you should know when you first download this app to help get you started. So definitely check that out. I have it linked up in the eye, and I also have multiple playlists of Forscore tutorials linked down in the description box to help you get started as well. Another favorite app of mine is Tonal Energy. This is available for all devices, no matter the ecosystem or platform. So Tonal Energy is a tuner, metronome, drone app, all in one, and it is a paid app. I believe it's $5.99 right now, but thankfully that is a one-time fee. There's no subscription option for this app. So it includes a tuner, which is currently picking up my voice, and you can really edit this tuner to make it your own for whatever goals you have or whatever instrument that you play. So you can change between equal and pure intonation. You can change what key you're playing in depending on the temperament that you're going for. You can change if you're doing wind, strings, or voice so that it picks up the tones differently and analyzes them a little bit differently. You can also change the in-tune range and damping. It says it responds to pitch more quickly and can be used when playing short notes. There are also many different visual layouts for this tuner, from the circle that I like to use to the strings. If you put it on a specific instrument, I have it set to viola right now because that's my main instrument. And really, it's just a really great tuner. Over on the sound tab, this is where you can play drones. I like to keep this on the grid view, but there is also a wheel, kind of similar to the tuner, and a keyboard where you can press on the piano key for whatever pitch you'd like to hear. But let's go back to the pitch grid because I can easily select which octave I want the note to sound in. So I press the sus button for sustain and choose the pitch that I want to hear as a drone. This is so helpful for practicing scales, and I use this a lot when I'm working on scales with students. There is also an analysis tab where, this mode is so scary to play with, for me at least. Sorry, it doesn't have to be for you, but It takes a look at what notes you're playing and how in tune you are. And it also gives you a percentage of how in tune you're playing. So I'm talking on any old pitches, and they're not in tune. I'm 49% out of tune, 57% sort of in tune. It's analyzing however I'm talking. So that is a very interesting thing to look at. Really good for slow scales, but it can get a little stressful and very hard to understand if you're playing really fast music with this. Then we have the metronome tab, and this is my go-to metronome. I have it on all of my devices so that I have the same metronome with me wherever I am, no matter what I'm doing. So this metronome can be a little scary because there are so many options, so many different things that you can customize. I do have more in-depth videos on tonal energy on my channel as well. I will link one of them in the eye, and they're also just in my playlist Tech for Musicians. You can also search for my name and tonal energy, and you will find all of my different videos on the app just in the search results. So if I just press play, it starts the metronome. You can change the subdivision, the meter, what kind of beats. You can edit all kinds of things with this app. There are also so many different sound options to use in this metronome, and you can really customize it to make it your own. So there's an overview of Tonal Energy. That is my favorite tuner and metronome and drone app. It's just all in one right there, and I have it on everything that I could possibly use it on. Now, if you're looking for something free, my next app recommendation is called Pitch. And this is a tuner, metronome, and drone app. This is a free app, but there is an optional upgrade for $50 a year. And the pro features are really just advanced stats, more drone sounds, like different instruments that you could hear, and different tuner styles as well. But the free version has everything that you could need for a tuner, a drone, and a metronome. So the tuner works by showing you up high is too sharp, right in the box is in tune, and below the box is too flat. In the middle, you have a metronome. Right now it's set on 120 BPM, 4 beats per measure, and 1 division, so I'm guessing that is just on beats. Let's put on 2. Yeah, now it's subdividing in 1/8 notes. Now it's subdividing in triplets. Now in 16th notes. It's not the most advanced metronome out there, but it is definitely very usable, very easy to use if you're just looking for something to have on a phone or whatever device you were looking for. Then on the bottom, we have a keyboard. You can change it to whatever sound you'd like. Let's do piano. But if you try to sustain the piano drone, it still just dies away like a normal piano would. So I put it on the sine wave, press sustain, and that will just keep the drone going the whole way through. You can also see with this drone now the tuner is showing that it's perfectly in tune. So that gives you an idea of how the tuner should look when you're playing in tune. You can also record within this app. Just press the record button up in the top right, press it again when you're done, and you can save it from there. Sorry, autocorrect didn't kick in the right way. And then you can access that in the recordings tab down at the bottom. It also shows you stats. These are just kind of some basic stats, and you can see if you want to see more in-depth stats, that's where the Pitch Pro comes in. There's another cool app that I'm new to using, but is a really, really good, solid free option if you need a free tuner, drone, or metronome, or all three. Up next, my favorite scanning app is TurboScan. This is paid, or at least it's a paid upgrade. I think that is worth it because I'm just used to using it. So I use this to scan any and all sheet music that I need scanned. So let's pull up this Hofmeister Viola Concerto. I do not have a scan of this, so it's gonna be good for me to scan this anyway. So we pull up the camera option, and you can see it knows exactly where the sheet music is. It's not always perfect, but it gets you started. So I'm going to reframe this because I don't need all of the white space on the bottom. Let's just pull it down to there. And now we can see it a little bit more zoomed in. I'm also going to darken it up to view what me and my teacher had written in the sheet music as well. Now to add another page, we're going to press the bottom right. It's a little page with a plus icon. Now when I'm scanning things, you'll see it in this viewfinder. I like to hold the spine at basically a 90-degree angle to get the page that I'm scanning to lay flat. It's not always perfect, and sometimes you'll see the scanner picked up that other page, but we can easily fix that with the frame option. Just drag it to the edges of the sheet music. Again, I'm gonna kind of cut off a little bit of bottom and edit that a little. Okay, it's a little crooked, so I'm gonna go back and fix a little bit more. So now we've got a nicely scanned second page. You just keep continuing that way until you're done, and then you can rename it down at the bottom. You can rename it and then you can share it. I always press open in /share, and then it gives me the usual Apple sharing window that I'm very used to using. So that is my favorite scanner app. Another app I use to scan sheet music, but for a different purpose, is called Music Scanner, and I recently shared this one on my channel. So if you'd like to see this more in depth, just go check out my most recent videos and you will easily find it. Here you can scan from your camera or from photos that you already have or from files. We'll scan the first page of the Hofmeister Concerto. So this app will let you listen to what the sheet music should sound like, and you can also export it in a variety of formats, including audio, MIDI, music XML, and PDF. So what I like to use this for is scanning sheet music that I want to edit or maybe create an arrangement of, and then exporting it as a music XML file, and then opening it in MuseScore so that I can easily just edit what I want without having to input all of the notation of an entire piece of music. But let's see what it thinks this should sound like. This app is not perfect, and many of these apps that do similar functions are also not perfect. I have not found the 100% perfect solution yet, but it is a good option. Just know that right now I do have the paid version, so a lot of these features are not available if you're just using a free version. Let's see what it picks up at the solo, and hopefully it knows that we're in alto clef. It does. It did not pick up the turn, and it also missed one of those notes, or the trill. It did not pick up the tie. No trill. Okay, it thinks that some of those 16th notes are double stops. You can see it's imperfect. It does not pick up things like articulations or turns, but it gets you started if you're trying to export music or get sort of a basic idea of what sheet music should sound like. So those are 5 apps that I love to use as a musician and that I highly recommend that you try. Let me know your favorite apps as a musician. I would always love to try more things and to share them with the community here on YouTube. Again, if you'd like more in-depth tutorials on any of these apps, especially Forscore, Tonal Energy, and Music Scanner, I do have more of those videos. Many of them are linked down in the description, and the rest are all in my Tech for Musicians playlist, which I highly recommend going through next. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. I post new videos most Sundays at noon Eastern time. Thanks for watching.